Okay, today's tutorial on Adobe Illustrator, we're going to be taking a quick look at just a couple of drawing tools that we can use today and a couple of things that we can do with them. So first of all, as we take a look here, as you look at your menu bar on the left hand side, as you go across, remember a couple of key points here are your selection tool. To be able to move things around or to control properties, you need to always go back to that select tool. That's a very important one to use. What we're going to take a look at though today are our tools for drawing shapes. And right now we have the rectangle tool here that is highlighted. Now how do you draw a rectangle? Very simply, once I click on the rectangle, I can do two things. I can either actually click and drag to make a rectangle of a size that I want, okay? Or if I just click somewhere in the screen, this box pops up, which lets me put in exact dimensions. So I'm going to put in 4.5 by 2.75, and it will draw a rectangle of exact dimensions for me in that way too. So I can either use just click and drag to draw and use my rulers, or I can actually import and put in exact values that I want to do. Now, what if I want to draw a different shape? Different shapes can be drawn by using the same tool, but we're going to click and hold on that rectangle tool button, and this will give you the other choices that you have. A rounded rectangle, which gives you a rectangle but with rounded corners. And again, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to use those properties over here on the right hand side on your menu in order to change how much your corner radius is. So I can make my corner radius bigger, and that gives us a little bit different shape. Okay, and the same thing, I can click again and also put in exact dimensions if I want. So all those different tools are right here for rectangles, rounded rectangles, ellipses, which would be circles or ellipses, polygon tools, which let you pick the number of sides from 3 on up, star tools, and flare tools. I'll let you play with those two as you work with those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back to my select tool again, and let's delete these two to begin with. What I want to work with is I'm going to work with combining some different shapes. So I'm going to take and make a circle with my ellipse. In this case, I'm just going to draw a circle. Now, if I go back to my select and I click and drag this over, let's say I want to merge it or I want to put it together with this rectangle to create a shape. Now, right now it just has a circle looking over a rectangle, right? Not too impressive. But what we can do is we can use tools to combine these things. I have a menu that's popped up over here and it has a Pathfinder on it. I click on Pathfinder. I can also get Pathfinder by going to Effect menu and down to Pathfinder, and I have the same options listed here that are on these buttons. Okay. Now what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to start with my first button, which is Unite. The Unite command, I click that, and what it does is it combines my two shapes, or however many shapes I have, into one shape and just gives outlines. So Unite gives us an outline of just one shape. So I can make all kinds of compound shapes by using that. Here's a star. I can add the star in and select. If I slide that over into be part of it inside of my rectangle, and then I highlight the shapes and click Unite again, now my shape has been united together. So we have some different compound shapes that we can create with the Unite button. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Let's drag that over here again. In this case, what I'm going to do, I'll try one of my other tools that are listed here. Let's try the minus the front tool. So what this tool is going to do, it's going to take away that top circle I just pulled over the top of the rectangle. It's going to remove the circle part except where it overlaps. So I can put an arc, I can create an arc inside of my value. Or again, if I took something like the star tool and drew a star, and I overlapped part of that inside of the rectangle, and then I did the tool, it takes away what's outside and just has what's left in the overlap. So again, you can make some really neat overlaps. And again, we have some other things like intersect and exclude, so you just get what's left for your overlap, as well as divide things up. You can trim pieces, merge pieces together, so it makes it one piece, which is useful so that you can move a whole object around. Cropping, outlining, and minus the back part. So if I would have taken that same rectangle and then the circle and I had moved the circle over part of the square, and Pathfinder and did minus the back, it takes the piece out of the square that overlapped into the circle. So you can do a lot of different things with the drawing tools and make lots of really cool shapes and unique shapes without having to draw things. Okay, so that's your basic drawing tools with basic shapes today.